Then what are we looking at here today, boys and girls? We are looking at Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Genesis. And just watch this little intro here. This is the follow-up sequel to Streets of Rage. 1 year after the battle, the city that had been plagued with crime and violence was safe and peaceful. Well, that's a good thing. However, evil has once again cast its shadow over the city. Ooh, look at these purple hands. Ooh, who's this guy? Mr. X, the syndicate boss, believed destroyed by the three young vigilantes, has come back to life stronger than ever. Thirsty for revenge, he kidnaps Adam in an attempt to lure Axel and Blaze into a trap. Axel and Blaze set out to help their faithful companion, joined by Axel's friend Max, a wrestler, and Adam's kid brother Skate. They're determined to save Adam and put Mr. X out of whatever. Four young friends rage burning inside them, make a stand for friendship and peace. Streets of Rage 2, Mr. Penniless Imp. Streets of Rage 2. Yes. And I will be playing this on my brand new. These are very nice Sega inspired 6-button controllers with a D-pad. This is a USB controller that plays just like the original Sega controller did. And of course I'm now playing it on a PC. So let's go ahead and start the game. We're going to hit the start button, and I don't remember what the controls are, so let's take a look at our options. What are the controls to this game? Level normal, voice, whatever, exit. Not a lot of choices here. Okay, well, one player it is then. There is no superpower on this. Okay, so Max was a new fighter introduced in this game. Axel and Blaze are from the first one. Skate is the other guy's brother who got kidnapped, and Max is a new dude. Max is brute force strength. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that these guys have kind of an animation stance, and they look a little bit more like Street Fighter characters, and that's because this game was heavily influenced by Street Fighter 2, which first came out on the Super Nintendo, and so Sega definitely borrowed from the influence in there, and this game is dramatically better looking than the first. None of them have unlimited power. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out who I want to be. Let's be Axel. Hello, Logan. Let's be Axel. Okay, I don't remember what the buttons are for this game. So we're going to find out. But yeah, so this still plays. Okay, that's my punch. Okay, that was my superpower. Okay, you have a superpower that you can only use once until you power it up. Okay, so you have... Okay, so you've got a jump button and a punch button, and then you've got a superpower. Superpower can be used only once until it's powered up. Music is great. Absolutely great. And you can use, you can use your bats and knives and pipes and all that kind of stuff. So, incredible cartoon violence. Cartoon violence at its finest. Come here, sucker. So definitely, in the vein of Golden Axe and all the side-scrolling fighters, we go through progressive waves of challenges. Wake up so I can knock the crap out of you, Baldy. Now, what this one did as a nice improvement over Streets of Rage 1 is that every opponent you face has a health bar. So you get to see how much beating they can take before they pass out. But the characters are almost twice as tall. Almost twice the size the sprites were in this one. Much better detailed sprites. Okay. This is real life. Health boost. Okay, a little bit of knife action here. And see, this just plays so well. The other day I played Double Dragon for the Genesis, and it was just so horrible. This is how a fighting game should play. It should just be fun. The level design, the controls, I mean everything about this. You know, if you're into the story, there's a story there. We're a little light on story. It's always somebody getting kidnapped that you have to rescue. But no shortage of violence. That was a problem when you had pickups right next to each other, that you would sometimes glitch like that. Your combo move is to jump and then attack. I got an extra life. This would be 2-player co-op as well, which is cool. Andrew, if you want to call into Skype, you're welcome to. If my Skype is still open, I'll grab you. Yeah, my Skype is open if you want to hit me up on Skype, Andrew. Love having you along. Andrew's as big of a fan of Sega games as I am. Love it. Love the music. Love everything about this game. This is just a game done well. What was neat about console games too is that if you had a sequel that was better than the original, unlike computer games where every time a new game comes out, you've got to almost buy a new computer to play it. In a console, the hardware was the same for at least 5 years. Average lifespan of a console was 5 years. And sequels were better than the originals, often. Better graphically, better level-wise, everything. So it really makes you wonder, if the hardware hadn't changed, why is it so much better? And it's just telling you that the developers, the programmers, got to know the system better. Got to really take advantage of the system over time and really unlock capabilities that weren't even known when the system first came out. Shortcuts and tricks and all kinds of stuff. So the fact that this came out a year or two after the first Streets of Rage, and it's literally twice as good looking as far as the graphics and gameplay, it was definitely an improvement. Unlike some movies where the sequels get worse, it seemed like a lot of times the sequels were better because they keep adding more features, more gameplay features, more control mechanisms. This one's got the chicks with whips, if I'm not mistaken. Donovan. At least you get to know the people's names that you're beating up to, you know? That's kind of cool. Just beating people up, man. 3 buttons, too. Not a lot of controls. Not anywhere near as complicated as a Capcom fighter. Seems to be a little bit easier than a Streets of Rage, than a like Golden Axe type game. Ring ring, are you calling me, Andrew? Let me see if I can get you. Let me pause my game real quick. I'm gonna pause. Let me see if I can find you on Skype, Andrew. Here we go. Andrew is calling. Hello, Andrew. Penniless Imp is with us, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause for Penniless. All right. Yes. I don't know if you've noticed, Andrew, but I'm on a Sega kick right now. I can't get enough. I'm on a Sega kick. I just can't get enough Sega games.
Well, Sega was my favorite compared to, you know, in the Nintendo Sega race.
Yeah, me too. Sega's what I owned, so it's my favorite because I had it. But I had it because I liked the games that were on there.
Yeah, I just thought the games were a lot more serious, you know, like it was for an adult audience, should I say.
Okay, so I get to fight the chick. And these sprites are really well done. For a
'Cause you wouldn't find Streets of Rage on Nintendo, would you?
Well, Nintendo wouldn't create it. Nintendo made very family-friendly type games, but they did have Street Fighter 2. So Capcom ported Street Fighter 2 to the SNES, and it was really good. There were actually a lot of fighters on the original NES. You know, you had a lot of fighters on that one. You had like your Double Dragons, your Bad Dudes. There were, you know, there were a handful of fighters, but they were all, you know, 8-bit fighters were not very intense games. But I like this one because this one had all the charm and appeal of the first Streets of Rage, but it had a lot of Street Fighter 2 influence with what the characters looked like. It was a nice kind of fusion of a Capcom fighter and a Sega fighter.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the graphics now, and it's almost like something that you would see in an arcade, but with the arcade graphics.
Yeah, it was close to it. The only thing it was lacking was a deeper color palette. I think it had something like 64 colors. If this thing could have produced 256 colors, it would have been a heck of a lot better. That's where the Super Nintendo really shined. The Super Nintendo had much better graphics and sound.
Did you ever play the Simpsons arcade game?
In the arcade, I probably did, but I don't remember it very well. So it was something I probably did as a novelty. It wasn't anything I did, like, you know, repeatedly. Just didn't spend any quality time on it.
Oh, I must have spent so much money in the Simpsons. It was a big thing when I was a kid.
I think you could have up to like 4 players at once in that one, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's correct. And you could like merge your characters together to do special abilities.
Oh, okay.
It was real fun. You could play as Marge as well, and Lisa and Bart and Homer.
No! Homer Simpson. It's hard to believe that show is still on the air too, you know? That's probably the longest running animated series in the history of animation at this point. Or close to it.
I'm actually enjoying watching you play this because, you know, other than the first level, I can't really remember anything afterwards.
Oh, there were lots of levels in here. You got to go through like a baseball park. You got to go through an amusement park. There was like an alien ride. There was a pirate ship ride. So there was a lot of sub-levels in the amusement park. The first part was like a baseball field, and then there was like a space alien game, and then there was like a pirate ship. You know, there was a ton of levels to this game.
I just got a flashback. I actually recorded myself playing this game when I was a kid on VHS.
Oh wow, I'd like to see that. Do you have the tape by any chance?
Oh no, that would have been long gone.
This little... Oh, the boss got me. Okay, so let me use my super punch. Oh, crap. He parried and countered my super punch. Okay, 2 more hits and Barbon is gone. Okay, Barbon is down. Down for the count. Yes. I'm very happy that he is down for the count. Very, very, very happy. Okay, I'm on level 2. Okay, this one is like the ocean barge or something like that. Oh, this one I think has motorcycles that come after you too. I remember that. There was motorcycle dudes that drop bombs. Yeah. Music was so good on this game. And it's very rich in my headphones. These headphones are very full, yeah, motorcycle dudes. Full range headphones. I get really good lows and mids and highs in these headphones. I wonder how well I'll do. I've been playing for almost 15 minutes. I'm wondering if I should do this as a preview or if I should just play till I die and make this a long play.
You should make it a long play.
We'll just play till we die. That's what it's all. That's what it is, Peaches. Love this music, man.
Do you get to have a nice lie-in tomorrow?
A lie-in?
Yeah, like a sleep until a long time.
Yeah, but I typically don't sleep very late. The irony is the days that I could sleep late, like the weekends, I seem to wake up the earliest. So, but it's good. I'd rather have more day to spend anyways. But Megan's up by like, even on the weekends, Megan's up by 9 o'clock, so she doesn't sleep in too late. I think I slept till 9 today, which was actually late for me. You know, sleeping till 9 is unheard of. I'm usually up between like 6 and 8 on any given day.
Well, I don't even like to get out of bed before 11.
That's wonderful. This damn motorcycle is kicking my butt. I'm missing my timing on my jump. I'm missing my timing big time on this. Okay. There we go. That's the timing I was looking for. Okay, and then those bikes blow up. Headbutted that dude. That's cool. So what did you think of our little adventures in Arkland? Not too bad, huh?
Yeah, it was actually quite good. I mean, it's going to take me a while to get used to it, like it did Minecraft, but I'm pretty good in Minecraft now.
It's a different animal than Minecraft. I like Minecraft. I like the simplicity of Minecraft, but then I also find myself, I can only take Minecraft for so long, and then I need a break from it. Whereas a game like Ark, we've spent hundreds of more hours in it at this point, too. Because of the complexity, I think. Oh, crap. He's beating the crap out of me.
I wonder if there's a way to get it so we can actually like go exploring in its own kind of different ways. Were you hosting a server?
Yeah, I was hosting a non-dedicated server on my computer, so we would have to play on a public server together, probably to be independent. The problem with playing on a server is that if anything you do can and will be possibly looted by others, you know?
Right.
Okay, this is a new character that just got introduced, this guy here. So the variety of these characters, these little mini-bosses, and some of the levels you fight in reminded me of Street Fighter levels. So some of the bosses just reminded me a lot of Street Fighter. It was very clear to me that this game was influenced by Street Fighter 2. There's a boss that kind of looks like Vega, the guy from Spain from Street Fighter in this game.
Yeah, it's like really cool because it leaves a lot to your imagination because you're like, who is this guy? He must be a gang leader, and it like sets off your imagination because this guy must be like important, and it was like there wasn't really any explanation. You were just like going around kicking people.
Yeah, I mean the basic premise is there's one big crime boss. It's Mr. Big or Mr. X or whatever.
Yeah, that's
you know, and so these are all of his minions. You're going through all of his minions to get to him, and he becomes the final boss. Mr. X. The major crime lord, you know? And so, yeah, in Streets of Rage 1, they were all ex-cops. They left the force because everything was corrupt, so they became vigilantes. So they were like 21-year-old ex-cops who are going after, you know, the corruption of the syndicate. And that's the basic story, you know, and you just go through levels and levels of bad guys, mini bosses, and then the main boss. Same formula. These games all had the same formula, you know, this change the scenery, but it's the basic same style of gameplay. But it was such a successful and fun game style that it was one of those things that wasn't broken, so they just kept using it, you know.
I love how diverse it is because you see on the first one you could play as either a male or a female, and now they've introduced
a kid,
the kid with the skates, and also that other big guy as well who's like a wrestler.
Yeah, and
so it's quite a diverse range of characters.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the game we were playing today, the Sacred Citadel too. Lots of different characters to play and just ongoing challenges, you know?
Jetpack, that's so cool.
Yeah, so him you got to kind of time to get him.
It's like random because, you know, as you're playing this, you've never played it before. All of a sudden, a guy on a jetpack, you know, and all these motorbikes, you know, you don't know what to expect next.
Yeah, so there was one kind of predictable thing about this thing because it was worked on a vertical plane, because it was two-dimensional. If you stayed all the way to the top, you guaranteed the guy was lined up with you, and then you could kind of time your shots to get him. So here he is now. In order for him to get me, he's got to come to my level, and then I can now kick him. That was same thing of like Golden Axe too. You know, if you got to a certain spot, you were automatically lined up for the hit. So right now I'm to the top of the screen. I can't get any higher. So for him to attack me, he is in line with my attack now too. So come on, come get me, and I'll just jump. So you just time your shots, and then you can take them out. So that's one kind of like taking advantage of the system. Once you knew what the system was, you know.
Yeah, I love it when you figure stuff like that out.
And you figure the stuff out as a kid. You're like your child mind figures this stuff out. Well, for me in the 90s, I was already in my 20s, but still, I've always had a child mind. But you know, even as a kid, you always figure these things out. You just figure out the kind of inner rhythm to whatever their game is doing.
Which is why I take my hat off to these people that find glitches in modern games, because I'm like, how on earth did you find this?
Right.
How did you know that you could drop this to walk through a wall and all this kind of stuff?
Oh, Curtis Boyle's asking me if we did Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Yeah, I think I have that, Curtis. I think I've got it both on MAME, which is the original arcade game, and then I think I've got it on a couple different consoles too.
What's that game?
Yeah. But yeah, this was a fun fighter. The thing I remember about the 90s and the Sega Genesis era was that time in my life was when I was totally out on my own. So this is when I was getting all my first apartments. And my priority when I was, you know, in my early 20s and I had my apartments, my priority was television, stereo, game system. You know, my living room was just, you come home from work, you sit on the couch, you play games, you know. So you have to have the big speakers, the big stereo system, and, you know, the biggest TV you could afford, which, you know, back then it was like 25 or 27 inches was about the biggest TV you could get. You know, but the priorities was the television, the speakers, and the game system. That was my single bachelor priorities, you know?
I think I'm there. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, right? Those are, and like whenever you moved, on moving day, what did you hook up first? You hooked up your TV and your speakers so you could listen to music while you're unpacking. You know, you got to have your jams. that was the priorities, you know? When you're single and you got nothing better to do, that's what I chose to do, you know? Okay, so now I'm in the amusement park. Okay, so it starts off in an arcade. Very cool.
Oh, what's that film with Axel in it?
A film with Axl? I know Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses.
No. And it's got the theme tune.
Oh, Axl Rose, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, that's. And when you said arcade amusement park, I was like thinking of that film.
Hey Curtis, you want to call us on Skype? You can join the call if you'd like. Curtis says, I was already a department manager and a programmer by the 90s, so I didn't play games too often. Yeah, I never stopped playing games. I mean, I started playing games when I was about 12, and I just haven't stopped. Even when my life got serious and I got jobs and responsibilities, I never stopped playing games. That was my escape. That's like some people will use drugs or alcohol. For me, my thing is games. That's my entertainment. That's my escape. That's my vice, if you will. You know.
What is the Turbo?
TurboGrafx. Okay, TurboGrafx 16 was a console that came out around the same time as the NES. It was technically a 16-bit system, but it really just looked like a slightly better NES. The sprites, I actually bought it and I took it back because it didn't seem significantly better than the Nintendo. While it may have had larger sprites or more colors or something, it only seemed like it was maybe, you know, if Nintendo NES was a 1.0, it was like maybe a 1.25. It wasn't like major better. Yeah. Well, Curtis is a guitar player, so.
I remember a handheld device. Was it the Neo Geo, and that had a lot of props. That was.
Neo Geo, yeah, Neo Geo was a super high-end system. That thing was like $500 or $600 when that thing came out. It was a super expensive But that system had almost literally the same guts as an arcade system. It was a super... Neo Geo is basically a Genesis on steroids. Has similar processors, but better graphics capabilities. They all ran on like the Motorola 68000 processor. Okay, so Curtis is talking about some cool games that he knows for that system. I bought the system and I used it for literally like a weekend, and I think I brought it back over the weekend because I only had so much time to return it. Yeah, well, the Neo... We was talking about the Turbo Graphics. Curtis, if you want to call in on Skype and join us, you know, just in this chat, you're welcome to do that too.
He can't because he's working late tonight.
I'm getting my butt kicked. Boom, 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 boom. 25 minutes I've been playing this game already. Can you believe it? Okay, now I'm on the pirate ship. So we're going through the amusement park still.
It's not a real pirate ship then.
Yeah, it's an amusement park pirate ship. Oh, there's a 1-up. Alright, got a 1-up. Okay, now these introduced these samurai dudes. They were kind of cool. Ninja samurai looking dudes. He just flipped me. Oh, he's busy working. Okay. Well, I admire your work ethic, Curtis. Curtis is working. I admire that. Yeah, Treasure Island in Las Vegas.
Oh, the background is like moving. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. It's kind of swaying back and forth to simulate, I guess, rocking on the ocean or something like that, huh? I tell you what, I'm really enjoying having that Sega Saturn. I've ordered like half a dozen titles on eBay that will hopefully be coming in.
Make sure you order that Guardian Heroes. I swear down, best game for Sega Saturn. I'd even pay like $40 for it because it's just so awesome.
Yeah. Well, Curtis is saying because he owns his own business, he doesn't have a lot of choice. So for working on the weekends, but I mean, yeah, you do have a choice. It's just, but you're choosing to do more work, which means you've got a great work ethic. So I own my own business too, and there's always something I could be doing, but I do try to take weekends off. I've got 2 computers behind me that I haven't taken out of the box yet that I've got to set up for clients.
You should employ me. I'll come and work for you. If we can get a HB1 visa, I'll come and work for you.
Yeah? Alright. And what I loved about these games too is that whoever was like your boss on level 1 is like a mini boss on level 2. The biggest, baddest guy you fought at the end of round 1 is now like an intermediary dude. And so they just keep recycling the players, and they keep upping the ante on the skills of your opponents too, which is cool. If I'm not mistaken, after I go through this one here, I'm down to 2 dudes. I'm going to go through an alien round, and then I think ultimately your boss is in a baseball field. Seasonal work, yes. Well, I'm actually working 2 jobs. So I have my regular job, which is my daytime IT gig, and then I teach at night now too. So I'm no stranger to working long hours. Okay, I just took that dude out. Alright, now I'm going to the alien round. Cool music. So yeah, kind of a fog effect.
But the plan is you're going to be the next PewDiePie, aren't you?
You know what? If that happened, I wouldn't hate it. If all I had to do was YouTube all day long, I would have a lot more time to play games and create more content. That's my biggest challenge now, is just not having the time. You know, because I have to do what pays the bills. I don't have the luxury of doing that.
It's a shame someone else can't pay the bills, isn't it?
Okay, when you hit those things, they explode. Okay. I got a sword. I love that sound. Very cartoony sound of the sword slicing through the air. This music was so great. You know what music had? You know what game had really good music too? Was the Shinobi. You remember Super Shinobi?
I think I played one of them. I couldn't beat the last boss with a. I think he had like a flying beard or something.
Oh, I don't even know, but I just remember hearing that music on my stereo system and just being blown away. Purple jacket, dude. It was very common too to take the sprites and just recycle them and change the colors of their uniforms. So it was the same character model with just a new outfit, new colored outfit, you know?
Yeah.
Headbutted that dude.
Well, it's good that they did that, you know, rather than just keep using the same sprites, same colors. You know, it's good that they actually made the effort to make them look different.
Exactly. Take an asset that already exists and just you know, reutilize it. Speaking of assets, I didn't realize until I saw your tweet that are you a developer? Or are you an aspiring developer?
I would, but I just can't afford the software. The Unity is like $1,500, so I can't really.
I mean, Unity is used for what pretty much all mobile games are written in Unity, right?
Yeah, but I really don't understand the mobile kind of side of things, so I'd pretty much just make something on the PC as a hobby.
Yeah.
It's just learning new skills that I was more interested in rather than taking it seriously.
I mean, do they have like a have they got like any type of student version or anything else that, you know, some economic advantage to somebody who wants to learn it?
I'm quite glad that it's got such an expensive price tag on it, because you don't want to be competing with lots of people.
Like
yeah,
for like I know like the Unreal Engine, they have actually made their engine free now to people who want to develop with that, and you just license whatever product you release on it.
Yeah, it's the same with Unity. You can actually download a free version, but there's lots of limitations. And
Okay.
I don't really like to be limited.
I hear you. I feel you.
I will get it, but like I've got other priorities at the
Well,
moment.
if I become PewDiePie and I'm making a lot of money on YouTube, I'll buy it for you for Christmas.
Awesome, and a nice gaming rig as well.
Yeah. Oh, this guy here reminds me of Blanka from Street Fighter. He was definitely inspired by Blanka. So there's definitely a lot of Street Fighter 2 inspiration into this game here. Street Fighter 2 was a big hit on the Super Nintendo, so Sega came back with a vengeance and really added a lot of extra animation and sprite detail in this version of Streets of Rage. Oh, dude. But lots of influence, for sure. That guy looks a lot like Blanka. And I haven't even started doing my reviews on the Capcom fighters. I have so many Capcom fighters that I'm in love with. I can't wait to start reviewing them. Okay, it's time to use my Super Punch. I just wasted my Super Punch. It's in the wrong frickin' direction. And this is a mini boss. This is like a sub boss. He's not even the boss. I'm down to my last dude too. Okay. So the question is, do I continue? And I think I already know the answer. I don't stop playing for anybody. So yes, we'll do the OG. We'll do the O to the G, and we will end this, and then we will continue if it will let me continue. Okay, continue to. All right, so select player Axel. All right, we're gonna continue. It's hard to believe that these things fit in like 2 megabytes. And that the Genesis cartridge is no more than about 2 megabytes worth of space. And how much game they could squeeze in there. I'm talking about all the graphics, all the background scenery, everything, you know?
Yeah, but
it's incredible.
At the time, that was like a lot, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. Streets of Rage 2. So much funner with 2 players, just like Golden Axe or anything else. And the 4K Coco games. Yeah, 4K Coco games were great. They didn't have anywhere near as much visual data packed into them, obviously because of the space. But the fact that they could fit into 4K is insane. The fact that you could fit a video game into basically an email header. There's probably 4K worth of metadata in an email header at this point.
That's really weird because I've never heard of Coco until I came across your channel.
The color computer.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I've heard of Spectrum.
Well, in the UK, it would have been the Dragon. I don't know if you heard of the Dragon or not. Okay. Sega Stadium. Sega Stadium. So I'm on my way to fight the baseball boss.
I remember going to like a Best Buy in UK and touching a Lynx handheld.
Oh, the Lynx was an Atari thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It was around the same time as the
Yeah, because they had the Atari Jaguar. Did you hear the Dragon 32 or the Dragon 64, which was made by Tano Systems?
No, I just heard of Spectrum and
The Z, okay.
Commodore.
Commodore, yeah, oh yeah. Commodore is good stuff. It's like how much. Just think about this. If you know, you have to suspend disbelief when you're playing a game. But if this was a real human being and he was doing this much fighting, who can just fight and fight and fight and continue to fight without fatigue and injury and all that kind of stuff? You can't really.
Where's the police gone?
Curtis said the Dragon stopped selling around 85, depending on what year you were familiar with.
I was born in '83.
All right, so you would have been about 2 years old. A wee little baby. Oh, dude, snuck up on me with the pipe. I was trying to turn around, and it's just they just layer on so much crap, man. There's so many dudes fighting me right now. I just got a free life. That's nice. There are so many people fighting me now, so the amount of enemies on screen at once is utterly impressive. When I think about what they had to do to program this, reminds me of Hollywood movies.
I think that's why they got it. When you die and you respawn, everyone gets thrown to the ground. So, to make it that bit easier.
Right. It gives you a minute to kind of get your bearings. Love it. Do baseball. The sign on the thing, because this had to be translated from Japanese to English. So there's a paper sign on the wall that says "Do baseball." That's not exactly how we'd say it. We'd say "play baseball," or they said "do baseball." So a little bit of grammar there. Okay, so now I'm making my way onto the baseball field. Baseball, obviously, in a sport of American origin, but shares international appeal. And so what is your feeling on football, Andrew? For you, football is soccer, correct?
Well, yeah, we'll just call it football.
Or what we call football, American football, is, soccer is just not very popular in the United States. I appreciate the athleticism of it because those guys are running constantly. And I compare soccer to like hockey. Like I think of hockey as basically soccer on ice. I mean, it's the same game. And even in a hockey game, they're pretty good athletes. Very few breaks.
It's my dad that's into football and sports. I'm not really. Computer games are my sport.
Yeah, the only sporting games I play on computer games are ones that I like. So Curtis says it's pretty big in Canada.
Yeah, it's big everywhere else as well.
Yeah.
Just Americans are very fond of it.
Yeah, and I just think it's because part of it is because it's hard to put it on television because it's hard to squeeze in commercial breaks because the game never stops. And it's a low scoring game. You play for 3 hours and you maybe have 2-1 score. So we're used to instant gratification, I think. We like points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, the chicks. Oh, the chicks have a they have an electrified whip now that they're whipping me with. Hey, baby. I'm into a little S&M every now and then, but let's hold off on the electricity, baby. Come on. Hey-ya! I couldn't believe how bad I was getting my butt handed to me when I was playing Virtua Fighter 2 today. All those chicks kicked my butt, man.
Oh,
I'm going the wrong way.
What was her name? Sarah?
It was like Pi or P-A-I or something like that. It's, you know, it's been 20 years since I played that game. This video has just became R-rated, Curtis says. This movie is rated R for raunchy.
Yeah, I mean, the women are actually, for its time, you know, you don't see...
A little bit risque, yeah.
Yes, you don't see that in games.
Well, you can see the details better in version 2 of the game. The sprites were more detailed, but even in version 1, they had the high, you know, the knee-high boots and everything. They were some sexy ladies for sprites, you know. This guy here. Okay, I'm almost to the boss, I'm pretty sure.
And I noticed with a lot of Japanese games, they sure do like their bunny ears.
You know what it is? It's a different culture, and there's definitely a little bit more voyeurism. No. I think Japanese people are a little bit more voyeuristic, and a lot of the Japanese games have to be censored in the U.S. because they have, you know, like they have like a lot of upskirt shots and stuff like that on some of the girls when they.
It's like so you can tell the developers are really.
They're pervs. Oh yeah, big time pervs. So a lot of that stuff has to be censored out. Like I was just reading one of the new games that was released for the PlayStation. They had to. It was a Capcom game. No. What was it? I don't remember. It was the new Street Fighter V that just came out. They had to censor. There's a scene, I guess, where the girl like smacks herself on the butt when she does something good, and so they had to like censor the intro animation of her and some of her little taunts where she puts her hand on her cheek. You know. So it's just little things like that the Japanese are just like, well, this is just tongue-in-cheek. We don't think anything of it, but in America, that's a little bit risky, you know? Yeah, and Curtis says it's less gore, it's more of a cartoon violence type thing. So this is the boss. I'm fighting a big fat baseball dude.
Big Ben.
That's his name. His name is Big Ben. I see that. That was a nice feature, having the health bar of your opponent, just to know how, you know. And that was true not only for the bosses, but for anybody you fought. Every little minion on the screen had a health bar, so you knew where you stood with them. Come on, Big Ben. It's time for you to go down. Okay, now I'm going down. Yes, we are finding our way into the underground layer of Mr. X. I can't believe I've been playing this game for 42 minutes now. What has become of me in my life? You and I played Ark for 2 hours, and not even a half hour later, I'm spending 45 minutes playing another game. I've really got to get my priorities in order.
Random. You're going down a lift on the...
Yeah. So the base was underneath the baseball stadium. So now this thing is taking me down. But while it's taking me down, there's random bad guys that continue to drop from somewhere. You know, the further I fall, you think the bigger of a hole it would be for them to jump into. But somehow they just managed to just jump on screen as I'm making my way down here. So how they do that, I don't know.
Yeah, because if I was at the top of the hole, I'd be like, I'm not jumping down there.
Right? It's kind of... Did you see the new Star Wars? No. The Force Awakens? No?
I'll watch it when it comes out to DVD, which is
okay.
Going to be quite a while.
Yeah. You know, because you got to see... well, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I'm sure you probably know a little bit, but...
I'm not really that much of a fan.
Yeah,
but I'll watch it. You see, when I say I'll watch it when it comes out on DVD, that's pretty much of a wink wink kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. When you can download it.
No, I don't download anything. I tend to stream things now these days.
Yeah. And by the amount you're going down, you will come out in China, Curtis says. Yeah, we're going down to China.
Yeah,
Going down to Chinatown.
Realistically, I mean, no, it's a bit far-fetched.
Ah, dude. We are just fighting dudes. Dudes fighting dudes. It was a very testosterone-driven game, you know, just a lot of dudes fighting dudes. Oh, I like that little backhand punch I just did.
They almost like shop at the same stores as well for the clothes.
Yeah, right. Martial arts minion clothes. Minions are us. Okay, I believe I am now going to make my way all the way down. Yes, we are at Earth's core. Ah, see, this is the one that reminds me of Vega. Okay, so you've got the chain link fences. Oh, this is a wrestler. Okay, so he's a wrestler. But the fact that there are people behind a fence, this round reminded me of Vega in Street Fighter 2. Okay, let me use my super punch. Dude, so far my super punch has been completely negated every single time I've tried to use it.
It's weird, but there's a lot of like, it's a very fleshy game, isn't it?
A very fleshy game, yes. Lots of flesh. Continue. Yes, and I will stick with Axel. But yeah, this round just reminded me of. Oh, look at that! He was able to counter that. He's got 2 health bars that I have to break down before I get to his final health bar. So he's a 3 health bar dude. Pretty tough boss. Ah, dude. So he looks like a wrestler, which is kind of cool. Another cool feature of this thing too is it had a PvP mode where you could each pick a character and just fight each other. You pick a background, you picked a character, and you could play for best out of best out of 3 type deal. So that it had a little 2-player Street Fighter element to it that you could do on this thing. And I know they make this for the Sega, I mean not for the Sega, but for the Xbox 360 because I have it on the 360. A lot of Genesis games were ported to the Xbox 360 or emulated to it.
Who made Streets of Rage?
It's a Sega original. Sega original. This is a first-party title. Yeah.
See, I'm so disappointed in Sega since the Sega Saturn / Dreamcast. They could have done so much more. I mean, why didn't they continue with the Streets of Rage?
You know what? Well, this is a perfect example of they could take this same game and just update the graphics, like the Citadel game we played today. You could take this exact same game and just give it a facelift. You know, make the background look more 3D-ish, but keep it kind of 2D in the foreground. Adrian Morak. Oh, Adrian says I'm dumb. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that. When you have any other words of wisdom, feel free to chime in at any given time. You're just a wannabe. Okay. Wow, somebody's woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Okay. I'm dumb and I'm just a wannabe. Okay. Alright. Hopefully you can do better than that. I challenge you to insult me harder. You're dumb and you're a wannabe. I like that. Andrew, can I cry on your shoulder?
Yeah, feel free.
When I first started live streaming and I started getting a few trolls in the room, at first I was thinking, all right, I'm just going to have some moderators. I'm going to have some people have to deal with the trolls for me and kick them out. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to have fun with them. Because life's all about what you make out of it, you know? Turn a negative into a positive, so. Okay, so this is the same boss that I fought on the baseball round. Ooh, whoop. I love that Pac-Man sound that it's got. Oh my goodness. Come on, fat boy. You need to go down. Streets of Rage. I could never get tired of listening to this music either. I sent you the link to that website where you can get all the video game music, right?
Yes, you did.
And I put them all like on MP3s, and then I have them on a flash drive, and I listen to them in my car like on shuffle. I listen to retro music all the time. I can never get tired of it.
Yeah, Sega just went down like it's almost like they don't listen to the fans. They just stopped caring.
Well, actually, I found a video. Somebody did a documentary on it, and I'll have to look in my history and send you the link. And so it was actually a really lot of good information on there. Oh yeah, I love mod music, Curtis. I had the mod player for Windows. You know, I know mods came from the Amiga, but yeah, totally. I was into MIDIs before that, so I played keyboards. So I was into making MIDI files, but I was into mod files too. I know.
What is a .exe file?
An .exe file, like an .exe?
No, like a .exe.
Oh,
.exe.
.exe.
Like a music file.
Oh, that I'm not sure about. But I remember the mod files. I had the mod players. I had a sound card that was a Sound Blaster All32 that had, you could load sound fonts. You actually put RAM in your sound card and you could load sound fonts into it for different instruments. And I had a mod player for that where it had really clear samples that it could play. I think it played up to 4 channels of digital audio at once. Yeah, I've never heard mods on the Coco. Yeah, I have very little experience with the Coco 3 and some of the newer things that came out for it. Okay, so I've got a boxer and the bartender I'm fighting now. So the bartender was the boss from round 1. Oh, dude. Okay, I gotta use my super punch. Let me just get my super punch out here. And then they just dodge me. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die pretty soon. I'm gonna run out of continues. So this long play is not gonna be terribly long, but it's already going on an hour. Oh, okay. Curtis says XE was an extended mod, possibly.
Oh no, sorry. I was thinking of XM.
Oh, XM. Now that I'm not familiar with, other than XM radio.
Yeah, no, it says that it's an audio type file introduced by Fast Tracker 2. I think it's those type of music when you open up. I think they used it in a lot of like keygen music.
This guy's got to go down. He's got a star, so he's got a second health bar. This guy's a tough dude. Okay. And the time keeps ticking down, too. XM. Okay, he says it was an extended mod. XM was an extended mod format. That's what Curtis says. Oomch, 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 oomch. Extended mod 32 channel. Okay, because yeah, the mods I played were like 4 channels, so it's the 32 channel mod. That's impressive. I'm at 32 channels of digital audio. That's a recording studio at that point. Oh, dude, how many times am I going to be able to continue? I don't even know. Yeah, the game is over. All right, that's it. So I ran out of continues. And I played for 54 minutes on Streets of Rage 2. Insane.
How far were you?
Oh, I don't know. Not far enough. Nowhere near as far enough. So yeah, but that was a fun game. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed all the Streets of Rage series. They continue to get better, and what I loved about console games is the hardware never changed, but the games improved over time. And the only way that can happen is it just means the developers got craftier. You know, it's not like nowadays where a PC game just forces you to buy a new graphics card every year and just throw more money and more hardware at the software. They actually figured out ways to tweak the same hardware and just optimize their code and just get more and more out of the same system for a good 5 years, which was the average lifespan of a console. So I loved a sequel that was technologically better than the original. It just always impressed me about consoles. So yeah, that is it, folks. That has been Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Genesis. I was joined by Penniless Imp and also Curtis Boyle in the chat. And I think we're going to go ahead and end this live stream. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, to throw out a comment, to share with your friends, all that good stuff. So we'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Bye-bye. May the force be with you. And keep on gaming, everybody.